you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nhung from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
Vietnamese president meets with Japanese emperors in Tokyo. Prime Minister requests prompt measures to overcome typhoon consequences. Nearly 123,000 baby turtles released into sea.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc met with Japanese Emperor Naruhito in Tokyo on September 28th as part of his stay in the Northeast Asian country to attend the state funeral for former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
The Vietnamese leader expressed his deep condolences over the death of Abe. He highlighted the former Prime Minister's special sentiment, dedication, and efforts to promote the country's friendship. President Phu appreciated support from Japan, which was the first country to donate COVID-19 vaccine and medical supplies to Vietnam to help with pandemic response. He extended an invitation from Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng and himself to the Japanese Emperor and Empress to visit Vietnam on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties in 2023. Expressing his delight at the thriving relations, Emperor Naruhito affirmed he attaches great importance to the Vietnam-Japan friendship and would do his utmost to contribute to bilateral ties. He also underlined the importance of enhancing mutual trust and understanding between two peoples through cultural and people-to-people exchanges, particularly in the year marking the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính ordered the prompt evaluation of losses caused by Typhoon Naru and immediate application of measures to overcome its consequences, support affected people, and stabilize production in people's lives during a meeting on September 28th.
The Prime Minister underlined the need to get students in affected localities to return to school as soon as possible, make sure that no one has to suffer from hunger, cold, or has no place to live, and prevent diseases from breaking out after the storm. The government leader said that although Naru is a strong storm that landed at night, preparations against the storm were effective thanks to efforts of the administration at all levels and the community. According to the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, to date there has been no report on human life loss. However, due to the circulation of the storm, high risks of flash flood and landslides are forecast in Quảng Trị, Thừa Thiên Huế, Quảng Nam, and Kon Tum provinces. At the meeting, Prime Minister Chính asked the Ministry of Finance to provide aid in rice and cash to affected localities based on their demands to have locals settle down and resume production.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Bùi Thanh Sơn paid an official visit to Germany from September 26 to 27th at the invitation of his German counterpart, Annalena Baerbock. During the visit, Sun held talks with Baerbock, paid courtesy calls to German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, President of the Federal Council Bodo Ramelow, Minister-President of Hessen State Boris Rhein, State Secretary at the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action Michael Kellner. During the meeting, Sun affirmed that Vietnam always treasures a strategic partnership with Germany. He suggested both sides expand cooperation to further deepen contents of the bilateral strategic partnership. German leaders describe Vietnam as an important partner of Germany in Southeast Asia and Asia-Pacific. About economic trade ties, the Vietnamese minister proposed the two sides continue to effectively implement the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. During the visit, the foreign minister had a working session with the Vietnamese embassy and met representatives from the Vietnamese community in the European country. A foreign-themed Women of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia promote international cooperation and integration for green and sustainable development in COVID-19 world was held in hybrid format on September 20th.
Women are not only subject to many negative impacts of global climate change, environmental pollution, diseases, especially the COVID-19 pandemic, but also active factors in environmental protection, climate change adaptations, and reduction of its impacts. However, the reality shows that the role of women in environmental protection, climate change adaptations, and economic development has not been fully recognized and promoted due to gender preconceptions. The forum, initiated by the Vietnam's Women's Union, offered a chance for the delegates to exchange experience and initiatives to promote the role of women in green and sustainable development and strengthen cooperation in this field. It was an important event among a series of activities to celebrate the Vietnam-Laos Friendship and Solidarity Year and the Vietnam-Cambodia Friendship Year 2022.
Since becoming a signatory to UN CELOS 1982, Vietnam has remained a responsible member and has made significant efforts to endorse and implement its provisions, according to a Singaporean website.
According to the article, when the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, was opened for signature on December 10, 1982, Vietnam was among the first 117 countries to sign the convention. Furthermore, Vietnam has called upon other states in Southeast Asia to respect and comply with UNCLOS. In particular, during its chairmanship of ASEAN in 2020, Vietnam repeatedly stressed the relevance of UNCLOS in maintaining regional peace and resolving maritime disputes. Most recently, together with Germany, Vietnam initiated the establishment of the UNCLOS Group of Friends to accelerate cooperation between like-minded countries on common maritime goals. The article said, known as the Constitution for the Oceans, UNCLOS set out a legal framework for regulating most sea-related activities and provides a platform for international cooperation on maritime-related issues. Furthermore, it stipulates binding mechanisms for settling disputes at sea.
Vietnam's economy is expected to grow by 7.2% in 2022 on the back of a strong rebound in domestic demand and continued solid performance by export-oriented manufacturing, according to the World Bank East Asia and Pacific Economic Update, October 2022.
The economy rebounded strongly from COVID-19 related lockdowns in the third quarter of 2021, expanding by 6.4% in the first half of 2022, the report said. The World Bank attributed the rebound to a recovery of exports and the release of pent-up demand following the removal of COVID-19-related mobility restrictions and, more recently, the gradual return of foreign tourists. The World Bank also forecast that growth in the region is projected to decelerate from 7.2% in 2021 to 3.2% in 2022, which is about 2 percentage points slower than was expected in April 2022. Meanwhile, a writing published by the London-based Financial Times on September 26 described Vietnam as one of the 7 economic wonders of a worried world. It noted in periods of gloom like this one, when commentators see nothing but faults in most countries, it is worth highlighting the field that defy the prevailing pessimism. The 7 that stand out in the world tipping towards recession and higher inflation are Vietnam, Indonesia, India, Greece, Portugal, Saudi Arabia, and Japan. The writing said the least surprising name on the list is Vietnam, adding that by investing heavily in the infrastructure required of a manufacturing export power and opening its doors, Vietnam is growing at nearly 7%, the fastest pace in the world.
In order to conserve sea turtles, Con Đảo National Park in the southern province of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu has implemented a program on artificial turtle hatching. Nearly 123,000 baby turtles were hatched successfully and released into the sea in the first 9 months of this year.
According to the management board of Con Đảo National Park, the park's rangers had moved some 2,500 total broods to artificial hatches, of which more than 1,580 were then successfully incubated. The national park had attached e-cars to 402 mother turtles, which come to lay eggs in the Con Đảo beach. Besides, a number of other activities were also carried out by the park to ensure the success of the program, such as researching ecological characteristics of the sea turtles, protecting their nesting habitats and eggs, building egg hatches, and taking care of baby turtle before releasing them into the sea. There are some 18 beaches around the park where mother turtles usually come to lay eggs. The management board of the park said that every year more than 300 volunteers from different localities, as well as many foreign experts, come to join hands in its sea turtle conservation program.
Authorities and citizens of the northern province of Ninh Bình have worked hard to uphold and develop the Chang An Landscape Complex, which is the first in Vietnam to receive UNESCO recognition as a mixed site on the World Heritage List.
Ninh Bình authorities have devised various strategies to conserve geographical and cultural values of the site, develop tourism services, and promote its image among visitors from home and abroad. The efforts have created more jobs and improved local people's lives.
Since the Chang An Landscape Complex was recognized as a World Heritage Site, we have welcomed more visitors from all places, and our incomes have improved.
We are aware of our responsibility for protecting the heritage site and its habitat, so we conduct daily patrols.
The recognition and honor from UNESCO has given a facelift to Ninh Bing's tourism sector, and the province's economic structure has been shifting towards services. As Chang'an is home to 44,000 people, heritage conservation combined with tourism development have presented major challenges for local authorities.
We are consulting provincial leaders on the building of a plan on conservation and tourism development at Chang'an, which will consider people at the center in order to protect the heritage and ensure local people's livelihoods.
Ninh Binh has welcomed nearly 1.8 million tourists since the start of the year, including 18,000 foreigners. Upholding the values of the Chang An Landscape Complex is hoped to turn tourism into a spearhead economic sector and contribute to the province's socio-economic development.
The Goethe Institute, in collaboration with the Centre for Nature Conservation and Development and the Four Paws Viet of Best Century Ninh Bình Province, recently hosted a screening of 2 documentaries on biodiversity conservation and animal welfare in Hanoi as part of the Eco-Film Production 2021-2022 project. Bình Yên Come Home vividly recreated the lives of bears and their caretakers at the Best Sanctuary Ninh Bình. The footage authentically reflects the pain of bears who have been victims of biofarming, their recovery at the conservation facility, and the thoughts of their caretakers. Meanwhile, Road to Xuân Liên shows the value of nature and follows joint efforts to harmonize conservation and development and connect people with nature in Xuân Liên in Thường Xuân District, Thanh Hóa Province. Boasting dense biodiversity, the area is also significant in the lives and cultural identity of the Thai ethnic minority community in the western reaches of Thanh Hóa Province.
Many people have to sacrifice their life in the city to experience the life in forest while doing conservation work.
The Eco-Film Production Project is an initiative of the Goethe Institute to foster cooperation between civil society organizations in Vietnam and documentary filmmakers in telling stories about sustainable development.
The footage may not be as beautiful as in foreign documentaries, but they are real scenes from Vietnam recorded by Vietnamese filmmakers in forests where ordinary people rarely have the opportunity to visit. The documentaries provide an insight into nature's current situation and the efforts of organizations in conservation.
The screening also features a conversation with organizations and filmmakers involved in the project and glimpses behind the scenes to give the public a better overview of the stories and their messages. And that has wrapped up the news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.